There's a lot of advice kind of given in the film from character to character, especially the characters who are parents. What would you say is actually the best piece of advice you've received from your parents?
My father always used to, was really instilled in us that to not give up and not to be afraid to ask tough questions. That request you want to make of someone that you're terrified they're going to say no, like, don't be afraid to do it. And that's really informed a lot of my career. When I made the Garden State soundtrack, every single person told me I would never get any of those bands. Everyone said, why would you even bother? You're never going to get that music. I got every single song. So that's really, when people passed on this movie, I said, I'll find a way, that's been really valuable to me.
Stop running away from everything you're afraid of. You'll never outrun it. It will always win the race. Put it right on your shoulder, everything you're afraid of. Put it right in front of you in the front row. Put it right next to the camera. Show up, do the best you can. It'll be good enough. And if I had to put it in one sentence, I would say, stop trying to be Superman. Allow yourself to be a human being. We all make mistakes. And whatever you do, it's good enough.
I was about 3 years out of college and I was ready to call it quits as an actor. I was just tired of dealing with rejection and I was tired of dealing with kind of not making money, and I wanted to start a family. And I called my mom up and I said, I'm gonna go to law school. I think I'm done with acting. And she started crying on the phone. And I was shocked because here's this mother, you would think that she'd be so happy that her son was gonna do something with his life and not just struggle as an actor anymore. And she said to me, you've spent 15 years chasing your dream, but only 3 years trying to live out your dream. And I'm disappointed that you wouldn't allow yourself more time. I think you owe it to yourself. And a week later, I got my first big break. And it was the greatest advice I'd ever gotten because I really was ready to call it quits at that moment.
Zach Braff and Tony Goldwyn both have given me great advice. Tony Goldwyn and I just worked together, and they both are not just incredible actors, but they produce, they direct, they write. And I think that is awesome because they told me, they're like, don't ever think that you just have to be an actor. You can think outside of the box and be a director as well. And I think that I want to do that kind of thing. I want to do those things all at once. You know what I mean? Just like Zach did. And it's hard, but it's exciting, it's thrilling. So I think that the best piece of advice I've ever gotten was think outside the box.
Kate?
Well, for me, when people ask me that question, I always say, I could write a book about it. You know what I mean? Because obviously, there's a lot of raising tips that I could, raising certain ways that they raised us as kids that I could go on for forever. But I would say if I had to boil it down to a soundbite, which is very difficult to do, I think a couple things that would stand out is work ethic. I think my parents were really, really adamant about all of us recognizing as kids that there's nothing, everything takes dedication and discipline, and working towards it, whether it be things mentally, shifting expectations in your brain, whether it be working at a point in ballet class, whether it be hockey, whether it be the craft of acting, or so everything takes a certain amount of work ethic. And the other thing is, I would say would be from my mom's side, would be compassion and kindness. That when you sort of approach things non-judgmentally and with kindness, that things sort of come back to you. That is my text. That's the Cookie Monster.
I'd like to show the face I'm giving the
sorry.
camera for Kate's phone.
This is
me as director going, Kate, your phone's on.
It's the Cookie Monster. It's for my kids.
Oh, kids.
That's okay.
You get an excuse if you say it's for your kids.
And then with Kurt, I think Pa was really not taking yourself too seriously, but taking the things that you do with a level of seriousness, but never taking yourself too seriously. So I'd say that would be my soundbite lessons from parents.